First up, we have Devin Booker versus Donovan Mitchell.
Oof.
Ooh.
Who would you
Isaac.
rather have as your shooting guard?
Isaac, go ahead.
You already know what the right answer is for me, but yeah, just go for it.
It's Devin Booker.
Devin Booker for you. Why so? Why so?
Because I think that they really have comparable seasons and comparable stats, but Devin Booker has made the NBA Finals, which
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell has made the Western Conference Finals. So that's the one-up Devin Booker has.
Okay, okay. You agree with that, Tyler? Or are you going to go with my side?
You know what? Since I miss you, pal, I'm gonna go with your boy, Donovan Mitchell. I just think, I think it's arguable because Devin Booker probably had a better supporting cast last year. So I'm gonna give it to Donovan Mitchell because he's able to carry the Jazz basically on his own offensively. And of course, he has Rudy Gobert as the second best player,
Yeah.
who's a defensive stalwart. But offensively, it's always been pretty much the Donovan Mitchell show for the Jazz.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I was ready for this. I think I agree with Isaac when you look at the whole body of work because he made it to the finals. But then Donovan this year, I think in every statistical category has been blowing Devin out of the water. But that's just this season. So let's see how it ends so far. But anyway, Billy, let's move on before I really get into this.
Sige, wag na. Next up, we have Jimmy Butler versus Paul George. Tyler, ikaw naman mauna. Your choice.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with Jimmy Butler here.
Okay.
I think it's because the Heat are playing much better than the Clippers right now, and Jimmy Butler has been to the finals. I think he's just more proven in the playoffs. I mean, that's not to take anything away from Paul George, but I think the fact that he has made it to the finals puts him over the edge.
Isaac?
I think I have to agree with Tyler. It was what came to my mind was if I was building a team and I had to choose between Jimmy Butler or Paul George, who would I take?
Yeah.
And I had to take Jimmy Butler. Just the intangibles, just what he brings to the table. I know that Paul George may be the more talented player, but Jimmy Butler definitely has more heart, more leadership, and he's proven himself.
All right. So now for the interest of time, because we want to get through all the names here, we're only going to ask one of you to answer each and every question that we got here. So this next one's really interesting because of your defense a while ago for Devin Booker in terms of how far they got in their career so far. So Billy, who do we got for Isaac?
We got Chris Middleton versus Bradley Beal.
See?
Let's go, Isaac.
Bradley Beal. This Chris Middleton is not a shooting guard. He's too big to be a shooting guard. But arguably, I think Bradley Beal is the more successful player in terms of individual accolades. He's not having the best year, but I think that it's just a slump and he's gonna get out of it.
All right. No, I think that's a very good point there. And of course, Tyler, this next one's for you. Billy, this one even has me kind of thinking about it twice.
All right, Tyler, Jaylen Brown versus CJ McCollum.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna go with Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
That's off the top of my head, just because I think he's a more dynamic player and he's more explosive. He's a better defender. Damn, that's tough. CJ's my boy though. That's tough. But yeah, I think it's Jaylen Brown's defense that separates him. They can both score, they can both shoot. So I'm gonna go with Jaylen Brown for this one.
I actually may agree with you here simply because I think that he could carry teams. He has a bigger capability to carry a team compared to a CJ McCollum. But, I guess that's neither here nor there at the end of the day. So moving on to one really athletic guy and one guy who really found a resurgence in the career. Billy, who we got?
We got Zach LaVine versus DeMar DeRozan. Isaac.
Oh, teammates.
Ooh, teams. I would honestly pick DeMar just because he's been in the league longer. He's a little bit more accomplished than Zach LaVine, but I think Zach LaVine can easily in the next few years overtake DeMar DeRozan. But I think that DeMar DeRozan right now is still better than Zach LaVine.
Insane games that he's been having, talking about DeMar. And we're actually at our last one here, and this is interesting because one of them hasn't played and the other one hasn't played to expectations. So obviously the hard one will go to Tyler.
Tyler, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's
Okay,
go.
this one. Klay Thompson versus James Harden.
Ooh.
Love when they're into
I
it,
mean,
you know?
I think that's a battle of like individual accomplishments versus team accomplishments. But I think James Harden's individual accomplishments, kind of outshine Klay's team accomplishments. So I'm gonna go with James Harden for this one.
Really? We actually have a bit more time here. Isaac, do you agree with that?
Yes, actually. I think it would be a different story if Klay Thompson wasn't in the Warriors and he would be able to chase those individual accolades. But
Yeah.
right now, James Harden's an arguable top 4 shooting guard of all time. Klay Thompson maybe top 10. So in that sense of it, I would take James Harden as well.
All right.
And guys, the $1 million peso question.
$1 million
dahil
and peso
Oh,
pa.
kasi
Oo.
nasa Pilipinas tayo, diba? Who is the best shooting guard in the NBA right now? Tyler, who is it? Who's it gonna be?
Oh, I still have to go with James Harden. I know he's
Okay.
having a down year, but I mean it's probably because of the new rules, and he's probably just in a funk right now. But I'm sure he'll get out of it. And I think all his accomplishments speak for itself. I mean, he's the top shooting guard for sure.
Isaac?
I'd have to agree also. He's adjusting, and once James Harden flips that switch and saying, I'm not going to bait for fouls anymore, I'm going to play, I'm going to score, and you can't stop me, I think that we'll just see the old James Harden of old dropping 30 points, 15 and 15, and Brooklyn will just look like this huge monster in the East.